This episode is brought to you by Wise. Wise is the app for international people using money around the globe. With Wise, you can send, spend, and receive up to 40 currencies with only a few simple taps and save up to 55% compared to major banks. Plus, Wise won't add hidden fees to your transfer. Whether you're buying souvenirs with pesos in Puerto Vallarta or sending euros to tip your Colosseum tour guide, you know you're getting a fair exchange rate with no extra markups. Be smart. Join the 15 million customers who choose Wise. Download the Wise app today or visit wise.com. Learn more by visiting wise.com/US/compare. T's and C's apply. Today on CityCast Denver. Season 9 of the Netflix reality dating show Love is Blind is set in Denver. But how Denver are these contestants? From chicken in a blender guy to an adult woman who calls herself Sparkle Megan, me and two of my fave gossip hounds watch the first batch of episodes and dish on what this show does or doesn't say about meeting people in the Mile High. Today is Wednesday, October 8th. I'm Bree Davies, and here's what Denver's talking about. Green Chile and politics correspondent Justine Sandoval is back. Hi, Justine.
Hey, what up?
And also joining us is one of our new faves, a politics watcher himself, Adrian Felix. Hi.
Hello.
So we're talking Love is Blind Denver edition because what else could we be talking about? This show is fascinating for, I guess, just quick, too long didn't read, folks that have never watched it. People talk to each other in these pods. They don't get to see each other until one of them proposes, and they don't meet until after they've made this huge life-changing decision. So the first batch of episodes came out last week. The next batch is coming out this week. But I wanted to talk to you both because you have experience in Denver's dating scene.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, yes.
And like I met my husband in 2012, so I have not experienced anything like what I think is out there, not only like through the apps, but just like the types of folks that you're interacting with.
Sure.
So first off, first impressions, I think, what do you guys think of the Denveriness of the folks on this season?
I think that they really captured like a good amount of like maybe people that are from Colorado and also the transplant type of thing. Like a lot of people were complaining about it when I first heard about like the cast announcement, but I thought it was very reflective of the way that Denver actually is.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was a mix because there are definitely two Denvers, I think, in the dating scene too. These people are like exclusively Parker, Lone Tree, DTC.
I've heard
Castle
that pointed
Rock
out
people.
as it's more metro area than
Sure.
Denver proper.
But not all of them. Like they didn't go I-70 West and pick up anyone. They didn't go north. Well, the Anna, which
From
was
Fort Collins.
Yes, was from
Mhm.
Fort Collins, and she was Asian, but the rest of them seemed like very much Parker-y.
That's a really good way to describe it. But I mean, that's also kind of, it sounds like, Adrian, to you, what the dating scene does look like in a sense.
Yeah, I think so.
So what do you think the story that folks are getting, this is some people's first introduction to Denver, to be honest with you, watchers, at least from like, I listened to a couple podcast recaps, just like I picked some random shows and folks do not know a lot about this city, I realized. What do you all think folks are gleaning from this crop of people in representing our city?
I was hardcore online this weekend going through all of the comments, and a lot of like the TikTok people were saying, wow, I didn't know Denver was this conservative. I didn't know Denver was this white. And I felt myself wanting to like defend my city because I know another side. But we say the same things that
Sure.
everybody is gleaming from looking at these people, that we complain about these same things. Like there's a lot more conservative people than we thought. There's a lot, different views. A friend of mine had posted on Threads this weekend in response to something I had put up, and she had said that someone mentioned that the people that have the hardest time with dating are conservatives, and it would make sense that the people who went on this show in Colorado that are having a hard time dating are more conservative.
See, I noticed that too, because like hearing them constantly use the word like traditional values. I have traditional values. I view relationships traditionally. And so that was a little bit weird to me because I don't think that was reflective of Denver.
Yeah. I don't think so either. I think exactly the traditional values thing.
Yeah.
We're a lot more open in the Denver city limits here.
Maybe that's part of it, though, the Denver city limits
Sure.
aspect of it is
Sure.
once you get a little bit out, I mean, anybody can attest to this. Once you get a little bit out of Denver proper, you tend to see, just more representation of a conservative point of view, maybe.
Sure.
And that's partially why we're seeing that so much in this show in particular.
I think it's a casting thing too. I would be really interested to see how they really cast this. I saw the application. I'd filled it out and didn't submit it, but it was very straightforward. Like, why do you want to do this?
Sure.
Send a picture of yourself. Are you available during these dates type thing? But I don't know if they go through more in a matchmaking sense and say are these people ready to date? Who are they? Do they have good things to offer? Or if they're just trying to create chaos. And I think a lot of reality television shows that start out with this, we have a genuine experiment of love, get caught into the trashy side of reality television.
Sure.
They try to create
who's going to make good TV.
Yeah, 90 Day Fiancé is a good example of that. It
Yeah.
started out as this really interesting show documenting couples going through the K-1 visa process. And now it's just Instagram influencers and really contrived scenes. And you can kind of see that. I noticed they cast this blonde ex-Mormon, and that's kind of really in
Yes.
theme right now with Mormon
trad wife
wives
conversation.
and all of that. Salt Lake City, Housewives of Salt Lake City. So I feel like they kind of specifically found those people. And we forget Colorado was the hub. It still pretty much is for these mega churches, traditional
Yeah.
values,
That's true.
Christian nationalist type views.
Focus on the family.
Focus on
Is
the
out of
family
Colorado.
views, yeah.
Right.
Just for
and
instance.
I think that you can definitely tell that production was focused on that, and also because a lot of the people are very sexy. I will note that I have a list of my favorites of the men. I was like, ooh, oh.
I heard
they definitely
mixed
chose
on that.
for
I
I
heard
heard,
links on that too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people are why do they get these people? Why are they making us look bad? And some people are let's be honest, some of these people are hot.
Yeah.
So I think,
I think that's part of the game these days, though, in terms of what reality TV watchers want.
Yes.
Because to me, I always go back to the earlier reality TV of the 90s that I initially started watching as a teenager. And, I think The Real World is the biggest example.
yeah.
But I watched Real World San Francisco, and they were all about regular people. And by regular people, I mean there was a doctor on that show.
Yeah.
There was, obviously Pedro, one of the first people to come out and say, I have HIV,
Yes.
in a role like that. And Puck, the angry bike messenger. And I love those kinds of things, but you just don't see that as much in these shows anymore. I mean, this is dating, so it's a little different, but I think they're looking for those palatable, Instagrammy people.
But which is ironic because the whole point is that it's Love is Blind. You would think that
Oh
they
my
would
God.
have a little bit more of a regularity in terms of the people, but they were mostly sexy people. Let's
It's
just
do
say
they
it.
just not want, I feel like they don't want to cast, quote, more real looking people because they're afraid of the reactions people are going to have.
Yeah.
Or, because I don't know. Also, I just want to go back to something you said, Justine, is you applied for it. There's no Chicana girl. There's just not a type of girl like you on the show, which was weird to me because that to me is a very Denver type of person.
Yeah, that was a lot of the conversation, who was missing. And I saw a lot of people replying to the comments oh, there's a Wook missing. There's this missing.
Yeah.
And they were well, actually, the Wooks and the cool Chicana girls and stuff are out climbing mountains and drinking beers and doing things. They're not really interested in a show like this.
Right.
And that would be, the cool Denver people are not into this, the influencer people
what they
are
really
watching
want
it.
at the end of it.
Yeah, and I think that's the surface level Colorado, right? You have
Which I saw a lot of comments. This is surface level Colorado.
totally
Yes.
surface level because I think we've agreed after so many years of Denver changing that they're levels, right?
Yeah.
So there's the passing through transplants, the Instagrammers who come to any city and will plop
Sure.
into wherever the surface level scene is. And then you have the people who came here in the last few years and they're rooted. They're here to climb mountains. They're here to get in the local scene.
Yeah.
So I think that's what's missing is this is very much the surface level of Denver. And that's what people see when they look at us or when they show up to go to a restaurant or they look what to do in Denver. They see these people. They see these restaurants. They see
That's a really
that
good point.
scene.
That's a good point. Something that comes up a lot, I've noticed in commentary, I've been looking through the Love is Blind subreddit, I've looked even just at our own comments on Instagram, is folks said one thing that's very Denver about this show is folks ghosting people, which happens on this show, actually. Two folks leave and don't tell the people they were talking to. How do you two feel about this idea of ghosting being a Denver problem?
As a man who was ghosted last month.
Oh my God.
Listen, whoever taught these men what avoidant attachment is, I'm telling you, is going to burn in hell, because they all do it. And the thing is, too, is that like the first date will always go well, always in Denver. And then it's after that where you go, what just happened?
What happened to me?
It's a very Denver thing.
Really?
The ghosting happens a lot. I've been trying to like figure out for years about the ghosting thing. And what I gleaned from a lot of guys on the apps is that they'll like be going through a breakup or like a break, and then they jump on the apps and they start talking, and then they patch things up a week or two later, and then they're gone. And they're gone from the app. And then they do that every time they're like,
so it's just like a temporary fixation while they're...
A lot of that. Another thing, though, is last year, I made it a point when I was still on the apps that I was going to stop. Because I've ghosted too. I've just been like, F it. Everybody's not. I'm not going to take the time either. But I thought, you know, that's really bad. And I thought about how terrible it was. And it, like, if I really want to attract the right person or like get what you put out in the universe, you need to like communicate with people. So I made it a goal all 24 that I was going to let people know. And actually it was really productive. There was one guy who told me he got ghosted a lot, and then I could see why he got ghosted a lot after we went out, but he was very nice.
So you just did him a favor and said, hey, man.
So I was totally like, look, you said you got ghosted a lot. Let me tell you, I think this is why. You just like, it's too much, man. Like, tone it back. And we're still like cool. We like talk online now. He like found a girlfriend. He's all
honestly,
happy.
Maybe did him a huge favor.
Yeah. And I felt a lot better about myself. But the ghosting is real. And I had to laugh so hard when it happened with these people on the show. I'm like, Denver.
See, but the thing is, Justine, is that because I feel that you're a woman, you would be able to be like reflective enough to like go, I need to change this. Men don't do that here. And that's why I call men's like the Denver's like most eligible bachelors always eligible bachelors, because
terminally.
Yeah. Like they truthfully don't have a desire to be in like a long-term committed relationship.
Yeah. Oh, I saw some lady on TikTok this morning say that she dated Nick. Nick was like the guy that got totally trashed when they went to on the honeymoon.
The luxury watch salesman?
No, was he a luxury watch salesman?
No, maybe you're thinking of Joe. I think you're thinking of Joe.
Sorry.
We'll talk about the guy that gets hammered or
I heard on
something.
TikTok today that Joe, a woman dated Joe before, like, I guess the filming started, and he broke it off with her saying he wasn't ready to be in a relationship.
But he is ready to get married.
Yeah, but he was going on the show, so she was like, don't believe these guys. But that is a very Denver thing. A lot of men will
That's so interesting.
They will avoid relationships or commitment.
You know, the last guy I dated before my husband ghosted me, but it was after 3 months of dating, like seeing each other like almost every day. But I chalked it up to like, he's a ding dong in a band who's like, this is like my type of person, is like South Broadway garbagey band guy. But it sounds like it's not just those guys.
That did happen to me one time. I got ghosted by a guy I was dating for like 2 months, and he was like supposed to come over after he played his DJ gig, and then he like never came over. But then he didn't call me for like 3 months, and then he was like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, what's up, dude? Like, he never came over. And he's like, sorry, I wrecked my car that night, and then I lost my phone, and I didn't have your number for 3 months.
You're like, I'm not your teacher in middle school. Why are you telling me this?
It turned out he did wreck the car and everything, but...
See, but to me, it's like, if you're going to ghost, don't come back.
Yeah, why did he come back? I'm like, I would be so ashamed, like, oh, I'm never going to...
Well, maybe that's part of it. There's no shame here for some of these folks.
This episode is brought to you by Denver Film. Because movie lovers across the city are getting hyped. It's almost time for Denver's biggest celebration of cinema, and you don't want to miss it. I'm talking red carpets, celebs, Hollywood moguls, exclusive parties and VIP events, and you can be a part of it. Honestly, I've always had a great time at Denver Film Fest. Not only do they bring out so many good movies that you can just show up to basically a random theater on a Tuesday night on a whim and see something interesting, but you also have a chance to dress up nice. Go out to a packed screening of one of the year's best, because they always bring the best. The Film Fest returns for its 48th year, running from October 31st to November 9th. They're featuring over 200 of the world's best new films, as well as all kinds of other great events. Choose your adventure and get tickets at denverfilm.org. That's denverfilm.org.
Before we get into some of the spoilers, I have to say, so the first glimpse we get of these folks, this is when producers often do these folks dirty, right? And there were two people that stuck out to us. The guy that said, I eat my boogers, Edmund. And then the guy that says he puts chicken in a blender with water and Mio and drinks that for breakfast, which is like serial killer behavior. And how did you two think those guys actually panned out when we got to see their full selves, or at least this version of their full selves?
Well, Edmund and the crying in the first episode was like, she handled it so well. I would have left that pod because crying on the first date is just, that's a red flag to me. Like, I get it, people are emotional, and he was talking about like maneuvering through it and learning how to deal with it. I would have been like, you can do that alone.
Some work to do.
Yeah.
No, see, she handled that like a social worker for sure.
Which is what Calabria, this woman is a social worker.
Which I love Calabria. I'm like, I want Calabria. Someone find Calabria.
I actually was surprised that Calabria didn't have I was like, why is this person on this show?
Yeah,
she's like gorgeous.
She's gorgeous. She's like
interesting.
Yeah, I really like her. I'm like, justice for Calabria. There's someone in Denver, a good man in Denver for Calabria, please.
It's not this baby man, Edmund. Mm-hmm. But the chicken in a blender guy, Jordan, actually turned out to be like, kind of seems like a more normal dude to me. I don't know. You guys are not. You guys are both giving me a face like, absolutely not.
I know. I said, like, honestly, I don't know what's going on, if this is a generational thing, like working out, whatever. But like this protein obsession where you're gonna drink chicken in the blender. I said, I miss the hipsters, because the hipster scene of dudes was like cooler. They were building fixie bikes. They were like
probably had a beer for breakfast.
Well, yeah, but they had like hobbies and like weird things.
Yeah, this is a Jim is my personality type guy.
Yeah, this is totally Jim is my personality. And I'm like, no, therapy too, babe. You got to go to therapy. It's not just Jim.
Well, but also how like people will reveal things in front of cameras. And that to me is just like very strange, because I'm a very private person. And so I watching this show, I kind of tried to imagine who I would be. And the last thing you would know is like everything that is weird about me. And these people just let you have it.
I mean, the reality is we're all performing all the time. And then this is, when it comes to social media and things like that. But also I know from the back end of these reality shows is these producers will ask these people the same question over and over and over again until they get some off the wall ass answer. Yeah. And I feel like that's what happened. But I am with you, Justine, in that like this man feels a little bit, because like there's a point where he's describing what he does for work and he says, I'm a service branch manager according to my email address. And I was like, what? Yeah. Like that wasn't a joke. Like that to me would have been the punchline of like, well, according to my email address. But that was just like how he described his job. And I was like, what is this man?
I thought it came from a place of embarrassment, because I think when he said it, the woman that he was talking to was like far more elevated in her career than he was. Oh. I felt that was him trying to save face a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, it was Sparkle Megan.
Yeah.
Okay,
who I mean, come on,
okay,
she's fantastic.
Okay, let's get into some spoilers here. Okay, let's start. We're already on Sparkle Megan. I just need to get this off my chest. You cannot give yourself a nickname. And this feels like a nickname someone gave themselves. You can't, nicknames have to be given to you by someone else. Also, you don't reveal that on a show. This becomes a thing that once you guys start dating, he meets your friends and are like, why do they all call you Sparkle Megan? Then the intrigue starts. This girl starting out with that, I was like, you must be very boring.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy that her name is Sparkle Megan and she has like the personality of a cardboard box.
Yeah.
And
this is shocking to me because
she was interesting?
I loved her. Like,
really?
Of the women, I think that she was like my favorite, or the one that if I were a heterosexual male, that one I would be chasing.
Well, to give her credit, she clearly has prioritized her career.
Yes.
She's very successful. She makes that very clear. And I don't think in a way that's like I found that part about her appealing. Sure, like, yeah,
Sure.
I worked my ass off. I made some money. I'm doing good now. This is what I'm focusing on. But other than that, I don't know anything about Homegirl. Other than she calls
she was
herself
just.
Sparkle Megan.
I felt like her personality became like she's like, I don't want men to be intimidated by me, or I don't want to like them to think I make all this money. But then she leads with money.
Yeah, she
which
did
a
lead
lot.
with
They
money
did
a
that
lot.
last season too. The people that were like, I want someone to love me for me and not my money, and then they lead with how much money they have.
Well,
Or
she
they're
didn't
blinged
reveal
out of
her
them.
car, so she was
Was
trying
it a
to hold
G-Wagon
back.
or no? What?
No, she
this
never
was-
said. She just said she had a blinged out hood ornament.
This is so corny to me. This is like, okay, does that matter? How would that read to you both if you're on a date with someone and they say this? I mean, I don't know. I can't say anything.
It's weird. I think for women, there's like this, like her, she lost me at her also traditional values thing. When he was
Sure.
like, what if I leave the dishes on the sink? Will you be mad? And she's like, well, no, I kind of believe in traditional values. I'm like, well, that you have to clean up.
I know. It's
after
like,
your
so you have to be his
partner. Like,
mom.
okay.
That's traditional values.
So then that made me think like she probably is like feels like she intimidates men because in
Sure.
her mind people should fall into those traditional roles, but she's not going to give up those roles either. Like she likes making money.
Mhm.
I don't know where I was going with this, but I think
But I guess like,
yeah.
if someone revealed that to you, how would you react? Like if money became part of the conversation immediately, like on your first date?
it's kind of important, kind of not. I think the idea that men are intimidated, sometimes I think men are like in Denver, like, hell yeah, sugar mama vibes. And they don't have a lot going. Like I had this guy I went on a date with once and he was like, so tell me about yourself. And he asked me every question, like about my finances, like credit score stuff, everything. And I was like giving the rundown. I was like, ooh, I guess I'm all right. Like I felt proud of myself. And he was like, oh, good. I guess we're on the same level. We can keep talking. And I'm like, okay, so this man must be making money and doing his thing and has a good credit score. No, he was an aspiring entrepreneur who moved here to start
Oh,
a weed
no.
farm with his brother, and they just
Well,
were looking at properties.
Denver.
And
Tale
I
as
was
old as Denver,
yeah,
baby.
right.
so as a woman, you're kind of like, dang, I didn't need you to like come like with the big old bank account. I need you to have a job or like at least like contributing on the same
And he
level.
was investigating you first.
He was like investigating me. I was like, bro, are you serious?
That would turn me off. Adrian, what about you?
See, I appreciated that she kind of like put her cards on the table that quickly because to me, it shows that she was there on the show for that reason. Like there's nowhere to hide, I guess. But I also do feel that it was reflective of Denver because I do feel that there is a difference in terms of like the caliber of the women and the men. I do think that
Yes.
women in Denver are quite intimidating because they are self-sufficient.
Yeah.
They do have ambitions, and where Denver men, to be quite honest, they're lacking, and that's just the truth
that's
of
100,
it.
yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like when I was attracted to Sparkle Megan, I'll say it. I just like that's the type
You just
of girl.
want her for her money.
Well, she can spoil me. That's fine. I like sparkly things too. Okay, like
Sparkly
totally,
Adrian over
yeah.
here.
By all means, like yes. But I appreciate a woman that like will put it down on the table because that's when you're gonna find out. And I'm sure it helps her weed out the losers from the winners.
Yeah. All right. Maybe I misjudged my Sparkle Megan
I don't know.
that way.
Sparkle Megan.
But
Find her boring
when I
as
went
a rock.
through, they pulled out her Instagram follows and stuff. She had some interesting. She followed Trump and RFK and stuff.
I mean, I got that vibe from her.
I totally
did
got the
too. I
vibe.
did
which is like
too.
probably good though, at least for your person trying to match with you.
She
you
worked in
wanna
oil
know
and
that.
gas. As soon as she said that, I was like, oh, okay.
Well, I'm from Weld County, so I was like, oh, okay.
Well,
That's
it can be a
fine.
mix too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oil and gas, you don't know, like in Colorado, people's jobs. But it was kind of weird when she had the conversation with Nick, who is the watch stiller, about like diabetes. And they
Oh,
were
yeah.
like-
Type 1 diabetes.
Yeah, type 1
He
diabetes.
clearly didn't understand the difference between
And
type
she's
1 and
just
type
like,
2.
oh, like quiet. I'm like, her dad died like
Yeah.
from complications of diabetes. And he's just like, you just got to change your diet. I'm in this tribe of rich guys that we like focus on our house. And he said something about having sexy kids.
Yes.
I was like, oh my God, this guy
This
is a for real
man.
narcissist.
This man. Can I just say, I thought Jordan Chicken in a Blender guy was going to be the creep. That guy Nick is the luxury watch. First of all, luxury watch dealer. What do you really do? He was just creepy. I found him very off-putting and very he felt very scripted. Like because he was kind of running through two girls at the same time.
Sure.
Oh, he walked in with the "Hey, beautiful" to the wall.
Rough. So
That
rough.
would have won me over. I hate to
You
say
were like,
it.
"Oh, I can see myself."
Yeah, that's it. That's all you got to do.
He freaked me out. He gives me the yucks.
But that's like, again, very Denver though. Like that to me is like a creepy Denver man. Yeah, I've been on dates with plenty of those.
I like text my friend. I'm like, "Have you went out with this guy?" Because he seems like the type of guy you totally went out with.
Yeah, he feels like a guy you would meet in Lodo, not necessarily like at the get hammered bars, but maybe the more businessy guy.
He's a guy you meet at
View House
Low-Hi.
guy, or maybe a
Low-Hi,
Low-Hi.
exactly,
Someone who's
exactly.
very proudly
and
calls it Low-Hi.
Meet him at the bar.
Something else I want to talk about, though, because this comes up on the show very prominently, is diversity, because the whole point of this show supposedly is that you're falling in love with a person without seeing them. But it immediately gets into the complexities of it's not just about what you actually look like, but your experience in the world.
Sure.
And so there was Patrick and Anna who had this connection. They both sort of revealed to each other that they were first generation. They figured out that they were both Asian, and it seemed in that moment that both of them also revealed they had only dated white folks.
Yes, very Denver.
And then, but they seemed to have this cool connection where she was like, actually, it's super hot. Like, I really like this about you. And then homegirl disappears. She ghosts this man. What did you guys think about that? Them kind of going through that together, talking through this.
Well, the rumor allegedly was Anna already had a boyfriend. And that's why one of the reasons why she decided like it was going too far. And she was like, I'm in too deep. I need to get out.
Wow.
So, but that's just rumors that I've heard online.
Well, what I didn't like about it, to be frank, was it felt like they danced around it that first episode where it was like, just say like, you know what I mean? It was like maneuvering through and saying everything, but like, what it was. Like me, I'm very vocal about being Puerto Rican and Mexican. Like
that's what I'm saying is it's part of who you are, not just like your physical appearance.
Right. Like it would have been like one of the first thing I would have said because that's just who I am. And so to watch the maneuver of like it was
weird.
like a guessing game, like, oh, well, what languages do you speak?
Yeah.
And then like just say it. Like
Because I think
like,
they
wait,
might have some
Korean?
rules around what you can reveal.
I
but
that may have been
this is where it gets murky, I think. Because then you see Patrick really get vulnerable and say, I'm the token Asian guy in my friend group. I'm always the token Asian guy at school. I'm having this experience. And it seemed like he was talking to Anna in a real way that maybe he hadn't got past a surface conversation with someone else with a similar experience to him.
Yeah.
So she ghosts, and then he connects with Casey. I think she found out he was Asian and she was like, I'm out of here. It was to me, that's how I don't know. Justine, how did you read this?
Okay, there were I've been like going over the Casey and Patrick thing all weekend. It's kind of hard. I think part of it is, she saw him and realized that she couldn't. Like,
and
she
for the
had
record, folks, this man was really good. Like he was one of the better looking dudes to me.
I
in
see this
general.
a lot because when I was in the dating scene, there's like the stereotype that Asian men take on that people don't find them like sexualized or attractive. And you hear this conversation a lot from Asian men about the dating apps that they feel like they don't get the most
Statistically,
engagement.
I think,
and
yes.
Statistically, it's true. I personally like Asian men, find them very attractive.
Same.
So I was always trying to match with them. And the ones that I would go out with, I'd be really shocked because a lot of the Asians, community I grew up with is like Vietnamese, South Federal.
Yes, of
The
course.
group in my
Right.
high school was Vietnamese. The VPs were
Yeah.
Vietnamese pride.
Yeah.
And they're like a lot of Filipinos. Shout out to my Filipinos.
Yeah.
And so it was just like, we would connect on that cultural level, a Denver level. But when I would meet like guys on the apps who were Asian, they were very like fixated on being accepted into white culture.
Yes.
A lot of them had grown up like Anna's from Fort Collins.
Yes.
So that's a community where she may not have a lot of Asian community around to identify. So
Totally.
you want to identify with the dominant community.
Right.
So you see that with both of them. So I saw that, like clocked it when I saw Patrick. I'm like, oh, he's just like so-and-so I went out with. He's just like so-and-so. He's cute.
Yeah.
He's cute.
I found him kind of boring, but he was cute.
boring.
Yeah.
Boring AF, but he was good looking. Yeah.
Yeah,
but I think her thing too, was that she had talked about her ex being like this hockey player guy. And she makes these
Casey?
subtle hints. Yeah, Casey,
Okay.
where she's like,
The white girl.
revenge story, comeback story. Like she's trying to like go on the show and get married to avenge her ex, or to find revenge on her ex. And it's not the guy that she wants to like show
Put
up
up
with
against
to
this
revenge
man. That is
her ex.
That's
That's
a really
how I
interesting
saw
observation.
it. But I do see the other issues.
She
but I
did the
didn't
weird
believe
thing though that
piece.
white people do, which is I have a black friend,
Oh,
but hers was my brother dates only Asian women, and I was
Which
like,
I'm like, no, that doesn't help you.
That's
That's
not a
like,
good sign.
yeah, like let's talk about that.
I don't know.
But the thing is that I feel like from the very beginning that he like went into it knowing that would be the reaction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you could tell this was not his first tango with like that type of like
100%.
like interracial dating. So it wasn't necessarily surprising because certainly I think being Latino that I faced that in this community. It's like I've dated white men and then it gets into the complexities of interracial dating and it's like a little bit too difficult. So I mean it wasn't exactly a surprise. It's always sad to see it, of course, but it's like
Maybe he's just protecting himself because he's
Right.
like, I know how this story often goes.
right.
Yeah,
is
I felt my heart broke for him.
I kind of felt
so bad
that
for
same
him.
way too because I was like, he's not even getting a chance.
Yeah, I'm like, and now you're gonna feel bad about yourself because of
I
this
know.
show. I'm like,
and the
no.
other girl that was awesome ghosted you, but it maybe wasn't your fault.
Yeah.
Right. And then for it to be immortalized on
Yeah.
a show.
He was like one of the, like, if there was a couple that I can't, maybe this is a question for you all. If there is a couple that existed on this show at all in any form, would you ship them? Do you think, are you stands for any couple? Because to me, it was Patrick and Anna, and that did not last.
Yeah, I wanted
no one
Patrick
else,
and
I
Anna.
believe.
I wanted them to like not know and then see each other and then both realize they were Asian and be like, we found each other after like dating white people only. Like I was like, yes, make that happen.
I liked Allie and Anton because it was just so delusional.
yeah, that's true.
I was like, it was the delusional love that I wish I could get myself to.
They got engaged on the first episode.
Perfect.
She's an absolute babe.
Oh
Like
my
she's
God.
probably
So
the biggest
hot.
babe of the show.
Yes,
and
she
it's like
was.
you really can't I'm sorry, you can't tell by people's voices. You want to think you can, but
Yeah.
you can't. Clearly Anton knew something was up. But they had an interesting thing too where they were both, he was born in Russia. I think she's from
Brazil. She's
Brazil.
Brazilian, yes.
So they automatically maybe connected on something on a level that like they're not experiencing the dating scene, but I don't know, also just seemed like hot people knew they were
Yeah. No, I just love that he was like, babe, and she was like, oh, this is it.
Yeah.
Like, let's do this. And I'm like, delusion. Yeah.
But then the reveal, and they were both like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Anton lucked out. Like, no,
Yeah,
like he
he
was
did.
like, whoa, yeah. Because
So-
she was like super hot.
Yeah,
I
she
looked, I'm
was
like,
super hot.
Okay, this super hot woman, like there's no one that matches up for.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for episode 1, for that to have happened. So I'm gonna ship them because again,
Okay.
that level of delusion, like that's love to me.
I appreciate that you just put it under the delusion category
Yes.
because that is truly what's happening there. Justine, what about you? Who are you thinking?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess Allie and Anton too, because it was, the level of delusion. They want to see, like, she had the whole, I have to, like, save my boyfriends all the time type thing and guide them. So I want to see how this guy, like, Dirty Vans.
Well, but then
guy-
Yeah, he did have dirty. He did
But
have
the
dirty
thing
shoes.
is like at that point when he saw her, it's like you just do whatever this woman says, and,
Uh-huh.
you're going to be happy. I
Yeah.
promise
Yeah,
you.
keep your hot chick.
Yes, like it's going to be that easy.
He also had the Clark Kent like glasses off, even hotter
Yeah.
situation
But why did he
going on.
keep him on his head? That
I
bothered
don't
me.
know.
was like,
It bothered
take
me
the
too.
I know.
glasses
Yeah, when
off.
Me too.
the reveal happened, you see him squinting across, and I'm like, it's fine, dude. It's
Yeah.
okay. She's gorgeous.
good.
Yes.
One more couple I want to touch on before we go. Edmund, booger eater guy. Calabria, traveling social worker. Initially, I'm like, oh, this is sweet. It seems very sweet. And then the more you watch it, the more is like, Edmund maybe should not have been cast on this show to me. He felt a little bit emotionally not ready for the world that is going to be upon him. now.
Well, from my understanding, in these type of shows, they usually do like a psychiatric evaluation to make sure that they're not like inviting a psycho because
Sure.
being
Oh.
on TV is like a very traumatic experience for some
Yes.
people. So I don't know. Like you're right. Like how did he get through that process without revealing like how emotional he is?
Yeah, and kind of honestly just emotionally immature to
Yes.
me.
Yeah.
And she seems automatically starting to mother this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And at first I was like, oh, this is cute. And then I was like, no. She doesn't need to be. She is light years beyond this man. He is a doll, but he's got a lot of personal work to do. He really revealed, some stuff about his traumatic childhood. And I was just like, and then he was kissing the ground. I don't know if you guys saw that
Yeah,
part.
when he was
I
kissing the
mean, it
ground.
gets even weirder. And I don't know. I'm concerned for his well-being. And I really think that maybe she's going to get the short shrift here.
No, I agree. Claybria is just
She's kind of too
the
good
social
for the
workers
show.
kicking in. And I've
Yes.
done this in the past. I tell women all the time, don't jump into the mothering role.
Yes.
Don't start cleaning up if their kitchen's messy, don't come in, start cleaning or anything. That is not your job. But, she probably has that instinct, as a nurturer to want to take care of this man or see through
Yeah.
these things. But yeah, he has a lot further to go on his emotional journey than I think
Yeah,
where
she's
Calabria
much
is.
beyond.
Where that annoys me to no end is a person, and in particular a male or a man who knows his trauma and knows where it comes, where it's from, and the healing journey is decades long. It's
Yes.
where it comes from, bro. You really got to get it figured out.
Yeah, and it sounds like he's getting into that zone, but who knows how long it's going to take, because they have a conversation about he forgave his parents. He was in and out of foster care because they just could not keep it together, and then she had an estranged relationship with her dad, and she's like, I don't understand how you can forgive your parents and I can't forgive. And so I don't know. I just don't feel like he's farther enough on that journey to be marrying somebody.
He's starting on I finally realized it's okay to cry now.
Oh, see, yeah.
So he's just
But,
crying everywhere.
I wrote him off after that.
You
I
did?
wanted nothing to do with
Really?
him. Like I said, I would have walked out of that pod. It's no, I can't.
I did have a man cry on a first date too. Now, actually, you're thinking about it, it was very ugh.
Well, but do I think that men expressing their emotions is a good thing?
Right.
Absolutely. Right. But it's it was just to a point of overkill. And that's when I was done. I counted him out from the very first
I'm
episode.
concerned how things will go from here.
Yeah.
We shall see. Adrian, you haven't seen the last episode, but you must watch the episode where they are in Mexico, because things get super weird. There is a man that either is high on cocaine or wasted and on prescription pills. Something
Denver.
Something is
Him being trash, the one guy.
Joe, I think,
yeah, him and Sparkle Megan's guys, Jordan. They took advantage of the open bar. I've heard so. I watch Psychology in Seattle. Shout out to Dr. Honda on YouTube. Love him. He does reality television shows, and he does Love is Blind. He talks about the relationship, secure attachment, all of that stuff. He actually talks to one of the producers and has an inside connection with them on the show.
Really?
Oh.
So he said that they are searched thoroughly, their bags, and that they were on a private beach. So you could get your drugs through, but they think they were just super
Maybe he just
drunk.
got trashed.
Yeah. Because then he wakes up, and then there's this whole it was flashbacks to my 20s.
Oh, same.
This
I was
guy's
trashed. I
I
was
so
triggered.
I was I've had this.
I've been that guy.
Yeah, I've been the person that they're you missed the whole dinner, Justine,
because you were
ruined it.
Yeah.
I'm what?
And you were like,
Let's go back out.
Well, the thing is that my note for Joe was fake but hot. And so I recognized from the very beginning when he was the jokester and everyone was laughing that something was off, but he was my type. I hate to say it.
well, I hope you learned from this experience, Adrian.
Well, I always learn, but always
that
the hard
poor girl
way.
Madison is crying.
Well, people are saying that she was being dramatic because he was just drunk, but I'm no, she was.
he
I would be
seemed
freaking
out
out
there.
because she got sold a dud.
Yeah,
and
she
she
did.
realized it when she got in there, and he was tanked. She was like, "No."
It did feel
I'd be
a little.
crying too.
I'm
I just said yes to this man.
I can fix him. It's fine. It's
See,
fine.
I used to be that way, and then I'm therapy,
gosh.
everyone, therapy. Men go 3 times a month.
It's good for you.
Please.
Good for you.
Minimum, 5 years minimum, weekly if you can. Dr. Honda said that's what it takes to heal. Really, 5 years of therapy weekly.
Well, we'll end on that note of therapy. Again, there's more episodes dropping this week. Let us know if you can make it through them, what you think about them. Do you know any of these people? Are you connected to these folks? Let us know. The Love is Blind CityCast Denver hotline is open. Is Love Really Blind? 720-500-5418. You can also text us on that number or shoot us an email, denver@citycast.fm. Adrian, Justine, thank you so much. This was really fun.
Of course.
Thank you.
That's all for today here on CityCast Denver. If you enjoyed this show, why not take a minute to tell Sparkle Megan about us? Rate the show wherever you get your podcasts and subscribe to our morning newsletter and learn more about us at denver.citycast.fm. And hey, thanks to our new neighbors, Dan K., Laura S., Joshua S., Kevin L., Laura H., and John I., who just joined our membership program. You can support this show and get great perks by becoming a CityCast Denver neighbor today at membership.citycast.fm. And hey, if you sign up through the end of this week, you can still get that cool tote. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. See you later.
I said that I think that they need to raise the age limit on this show so we can trick 40-year-old men to date women closer to their age. And realize that they Love is Blind.